Every Friday morning, Mia waits on the porch, clutching a muffin wrapped in paper towels with her tiny hands. Her blonde hair swings as she jumps up and down excitedly, listening for the roar of the garbage truck. When it finally appears, she beams as if it's Christmas morning. The driver, Tom, gets out of the truck, as calm as ever, and accepts the treat with a slight nod. I always thought it was a nice routine between the two of them, but today, as I watched them more closely, I noticed something. His eyes seemed duller, his movements slower, and a strange feeling inside me made me go after him. This Friday morning feels like any other, with my daughter waiting excitedly for the garbage truck, her joy contagious as she calls out to Mr. Tim. He greets her warmly, and their usual ritual unfolds as she offers him a muffin, a simple yet tender exchange repeated every week. But something feels different this time. As I watch him place the muffin carefully in his pocket, I notice the emotion in his eyes, like he's holding back tears. What once seemed like simple kindness now feels like something deeper. But before we start, smash the like button, subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so you never miss any of our upcoming stories. Tim calls Lily Sunshine, and their brief interactions, filled with smiles and gratitude, always leave behind a lingering warmth. Still, I can't shake the feeling that there is more beneath the surface. That feeling grows stronger when Lily explains she gives him muffins because he looks hungry. Her innocent words stay with me, echoing in my mind and pushing me toward a decision. I need to understand what's really going on. After Tim leaves, I follow him at a distance as he continues his route. He works quietly, moving from house to house with a tired, almost distant focus. I stay hidden, watching closely as he carefully keeps the muffin Lily gave him, my curiosity mixed with unease. Hours pass as I observe him, trying to piece together what Lily seemed to sense so naturally. Eventually, Tim slips away into an alley, glancing around as if to make sure he's alone, before disappearing behind an old building. I remain hidden, my heart racing, caught between fear and determination. It feels like I'm standing on the edge of a secret. The narrator quietly follows Tim and hides behind a fence, watching him without being seen. In the silence of the alley, she observes him sitting alone against a worn brick wall. When he takes out the muffin Lily gave him, he doesn't eat it quickly. Instead, he savors it slowly and carefully, as if it were something precious. His sadness is clear, and the moment feels deeply personal, showing how much that simple act of kindness means to him. In the following weeks, she continues to follow him after his route. Tim never notices her and repeats the same routine every Friday. After finishing work, he disappears into the same quiet alley, spending hours alone before returning later in the evening. He seems to live in isolation, finding his only comfort in those brief moments with Lily and the small treat she gives him. Watching him, the narrator realizes that the muffin is not just food, it is a rare moment of warmth in an otherwise lonely life. Wanting to bring him a little more comfort, she decides one day to give him an extra muffin. When she offers it, Tim is surprised but accepts it with gratitude. But one Friday, everything suddenly changes. A different man is driving the garbage truck, and Tim is nowhere to be seen. Lily runs out excitedly as usual, holding her muffin, but the truck doesn't stop like before. The absence is immediate and painful, leaving her confused and disappointed. Without Tim, the routine loses its meaning. The warmth and connection that once filled those moments disappear, replaced by uncertainty. When Lily asks about him, the new driver gives only a vague response, offering no explanation. As the truck drives away, both the narrator and Lily are left with a sense of emptiness. They realize that what seemed like a small, simple habit had actually created a deep bond. Now, all that remains is the hope that wherever Tim is, he carries with him the kindness and light they shared. Lily stands quietly, staring at the cupcake in her hands, her excitement gone as a quiet sadness takes its place. When the next Friday comes, she waits again, hopeful but unsure. The garbage truck arrives, but Tim is nowhere to be seen. The moment passes slowly, and as the truck leaves, so does the small joy she had been holding on to. Her disappointment is silent but heavy, and I feel it just as deeply. Determined to understand, I call the city service, only to be told that Tim has left, with no explanation. The lack of answers makes everything feel worse. I try to reassure Lily, though I don't believe my own words. Still, she gently places her muffin on the curb, just in case he comes back, holding on to hope in a way only a child can. Weeks pass like this, filled with waiting and quiet disappointment. Then one morning, everything changes. Lily rushes in. Full of excitement, Tim is back. We run outside, and there he is, but different. He's no longer in the truck, and his worn clothes tell a story of hardship. Still, his smile remains. Lily runs to him, and he kneels to embrace her, clearly emotional. Their reunion is simple but deeply moving, as she offers him the cupcake once again. Watching more closely now, I notice the details I missed before: his trembling hands, the way he holds the muffin with care. It becomes clear that this small gift means far more than I ever imagined. The truth settles in. Tim is homeless, and Lily's muffin is often his only meal. I begin to follow him again, this time with purpose, watching as he walks quietly through the streets until he reaches a familiar hidden corner. It's his refuge, a place where he rests away from the world. And now, finally, I understand why those small Friday moments meant so much, not just to Lily, but to him as well. I took a deep breath and stepped toward him carefully so I wouldn't startle him. "Tim?" I called softly, my voice shaking more than I expected. He turned instantly, eyes wide, as if he had seen something impossible. For a moment, there was shock on his face, maybe fear, maybe confusion, and it hit me how unsettled he truly was. I quickly tried to ease the tension. "Sorry, I just wanted to talk," I said. His expression softened a little, his shoulders lowering as he looked away, almost ashamed of being seen like this. He didn't speak right away, but his face carried the weight of exhaustion and struggle, the kind of fatigue that goes far beyond physical tiredness. I only wished he would trust me enough to let me understand. Silence stretched between us, heavy, but not uncomfortable. Then, barely above a whisper, he said, "I have no place." I sat beside him without saying anything, letting the quiet speak for both of us. After a moment, he admitted softly, "I didn't want you to know." His voice trembled as he spoke, and I realized he had been trying to shield Lily from the truth of his life. He was carrying everything alone, hiding his reality behind brief moments of kindness. I nodded slowly, understanding what he meant without needing more explanation. "You feed me more than you think," he murmured, holding the muffin carefully like something far more valuable than food. That simple gesture, so small from the outside, carried hope, dignity, and warmth for him. That afternoon, I baked more cupcakes. Once they cooled, I wrapped them carefully and left them near the place where he usually rested. It became a quiet routine. Every week, I added small notes of encouragement, never knowing if he would read them, but hoping they reached him anyway. Over time, this small exchange turned into something unspoken but steady between us. One Friday, he came by and handed me a note of his own, simply saying, "Thank you for all you do." It overwhelmed me more than I expected, bringing tears to my eyes. It felt like a bridge had formed between two very different lives, built from small acts of care that neither of us fully planned but both of us needed. Lily watched him quietly before suddenly stepping forward and hugging him tightly. "You're our friend," she said with absolute certainty. "Friends help friends eat happily." Tim laughed softly, and in that moment the narrator realizes that Lily's cupcakes are more than just food. They are restoring his dignity and giving him a sense of connection. From then on, Lily continues waiting for him every week, no matter the weather, always with a cupcake prepared with care. The narrator supports this quiet routine, baking regularly, understanding that these small acts of kindness have become an important part of Tim's life. One rainy morning, Tim doesn't arrive in the garbage truck but on foot, soaked and exhausted, still determined to keep his promise. Despite his condition, he greets Lily with a smile and presents a cupcake he carefully protected, showing that their bond goes both ways. Seeing him shivering, the narrator invites him inside. At first hesitant, Tim accepts after Lily reassures him warmly that he belongs with them. Inside the house, he finally relaxes, sitting with a warm drink, while Lily talks happily beside him. For the first time, he seems at peace. During this moment, Tim opens up emotionally, revealing how much Lily's care has meant to him. The narrator reassures him that he matters, helping him see his own value through the eyes of a child who never judged him. From that day forward, Tim stops hiding. Slowly, he becomes part of the community, helping with small tasks and earning respect and appreciation. Neighbors begin to support him as well, offering food and warmth. Over time, his life starts to change. What started with a simple muffin grows into a network of care, giving Tim a new sense of belonging and hope. Each Friday, Tim's smile grows a little brighter, even if he thinks no one notices. One day, the narrator discovers a hidden sleeping bag behind the garage and realizes Tim has been quietly resting there. Nearby, she finds a drawing he made of himself and Lily, surrounded by muffins and sunshine, with the words, "The best lunch of my life." She begins to understand that Lily, without being told, had sensed Tim's hunger and hardship from the beginning. Wanting to help, the narrator and neighbors come together to support him. They find him temporary shelter, help him secure a steady job, and eventually set up a small caravan where he can live. Despite these changes, the cupcake tradition continues. Every Friday, Lily waits for Tim, and he greets her with, "Hello, sunshine," their bond growing stronger over time. Watching them, the narrator realizes the true lesson Lily has taught her. Kindness is not just about meeting physical needs, but about offering connection and dignity. Tim himself admits that Lily is the reason he keeps going, showing how even the smallest gestures can transform a life. In the end, their relationship becomes something quietly profound, a connection beyond words, where simple acts of love bring meaning, comfort, and hope to both of them. This Friday morning passes like any other, with Lily waiting excitedly for the garbage truck, her joy lighting up the moment as she calls out to Mr. Tim. The bin man greets her warmly, and their weekly ritual continues as she offers him a muffin, a simple exchange filled with quiet tenderness. Gradually, our small gestures grow into something bigger. We invite him in, offer warmth, and begin supporting him regularly. Over time, Tim starts to rebuild his life, connecting with the community, taking on small jobs, and receiving help from neighbors. What began as a simple muffin turns into a lifeline, restoring not just his physical strength, but his dignity and sense of belonging. In the end, the Friday tradition continues, but now it carries a deeper meaning. Lily's kindness doesn't just feed hunger, it creates connection, hope, and change. Through her small, sincere actions, she transforms not only Tim's life, but the entire community, proving that even the simplest gestures can have a lasting and powerful impact. Thank you for watching. If you like this story, don't forget to hit the like button, subscription, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming stories.